Hi, I'm Terry Singh Barrett, the food editor here at Everyday with Rachel Ray Magazine, and today I'm going to show you how to prepare kebabs. The first thing you need to know are the differences between wooden and metal skewers. Personally, I prefer metallic metal skewers because they're more environmentally friendly. And the other thing is that when you're purchasing these guys, be sure to look for ones that are flat as opposed to cylindrical, because that'll help food from spinning around. And if you are going to use wooden skewers, which are great because they're a really inexpensive alternative, just keep in mind that if you're going to use these guys and thread them loosely, you'll need to soak them in water for at least 30 minutes before using them. For example, on this guy right here, they're tightly packed, so for the most part, you probably don't have to worry about the wooden skewers charring. But say, like on this guy, or if you want to thread a lot of loose pieces of beef, you'll have to worry about browning in the center, so it's good to soak them to prevent that from happening. And we've got a bunch of different ingredients up front today. First, we've got some sweet potatoes, pineapples, red plums, red onions, green bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, and fennel. So first, we've got a Jamaican-style beef kebab. We've got, marinated beef here and some sweet potatoes. One thing to know about ingredients like sweet potatoes, eggplant, or potatoes is that you want to par-cook them or cook them for a little bit before using them. Reason being that they take a lot longer to cook on the grill. Some potatoes can take roughly up to an hour. Beef will take probably about 6 to 8 minutes. So we pop them in the microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes, and easy to thread. And the next kebab we're going to talk about are the pineapple shrimp kebabs. And I've got a great trick here for you in terms of threading shrimp. Reason being that if you just thread the shrimp through the center, when you lift them up from the grill, they have a tendency to swivel around, and they're just a pain to sort of flip over and get the other side. And so what we like to do here is start threading them through the head and then out, sort of like the back, the tail of the shrimp. So as you can see, when you lift it up, it's not going to flip-flop around, and it'll stay flat. And one of my favorite kebabs is the chicken and plum kebab. I love grilled fruit, and there's so much sugar in fruit that it caramelizes really nicely and adds this really kind of sweet flavor. The great thing about this kebab is you can see that all the pieces are roughly similar in size, about 1 inch to 2 inches. Here we've got about 1.5 inches. And this helps them cook evenly, and also they can all get like the nice, great little charred marks from the grill. Another great trick for preparing kebabs is if you're working with items like baby potatoes or grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, or button mushrooms, or white mushrooms, just things that might swivel around on a skewer, is to take 2 skewers and pierce it kind of like in a ladder formation. And what this does, you want to keep them parallel too, and use both hands if needed. And what this does is makes it easy for you to lift them up from the grill and flip them over without them sort of spinning around. And so we're ready to start grilling. I'm going to brush these guys with olive oil and season them all with salt and pepper. The steak and the chicken have actually been marinated to just make them a little bit juicier and add some extra flavor. You don't want to use marinades that include citric acids like orange juice or lemonade or lime juices. That will actually start cooking the proteins while you let them sit. And we're going to season it with salt and pepper. And be sure to season your kebabs from a distance. It just sort of helps the salt and pepper sprinkle all over the place and just cover the surface area of all the kebabs. And we're ready. I've already preheated my grill for about 15 minutes to make sure that it's at high heat, which will help the kebabs from sticking to the grill. And the first one I'm going to put down are the chicken kebabs, because those will take longer to cook. They're about 10 to 15 minutes, probably for a piece of chicken that's about 2 inches. And then I'm going to put on the steak kebabs. These guys will take probably about 6 to 8 minutes to cook. And beef kebabs are actually one of those things that I like turning sort of on all 4 corners so that you can sear the outside of the beef cubes. Another great trick I have for beef kebabs is that if you're going to thread them, if you really like your steak nice and juicy and rare, you can actually pack them all tightly onto a kebab and skewer them so the inside sort of stays nice and moist. Or if you spread them apart and you like them more well done, it'll cook the outside as well and sort of get the inside where the beef pieces meet. And then lastly, I'm going to stick on the pineapple shrimp kebabs. And these guys will take probably about 2-3 minutes tops. And we've threaded them with vegetables like bell peppers and onion, which are fine raw, obviously. You probably wouldn't want to combine things like eggplant and shrimp or potatoes and shrimp unless you cooked them pretty much until they're about done, because the shrimp only stay on the grill for about 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to close the grill. So it's been about 2 minutes, so I'm going to flip the pineapple shrimp kebabs, which need to cook about 4 minutes total. And you can tell shrimp are done when they start turning pink. Obviously, when they're raw, they're gray. So these guys are probably about another minute and a half away from being done. I'm going to shut the grill. So the beef kebabs have been cooking for about 4 minutes now, so I'm going to flip them over. I'm going to brush the Jamaican-style beef kebabs with a little bit of olive oil and season them with salt and pepper and turn them a quarter turn. So now the chicken and plum kebabs have cooked for about 7-8 minutes. I'm going to flip them over. You can see we've got some nice, great grill marks, a nice charred outside. So now the shrimp have cooked for another 2 minutes, for about 4 minutes total, so I'm going to take them off the grill. And you can see that they're all nice and opaque, and they're pink, so they're done. These look delicious. And we're going to rotate the Jamaican-style beef skewers again and just let them cook for another minute or two before taking them off the grill. So now the Jamaican-style beef kebabs have cooked for about 6 to 8 minutes total, so I'm going to take them off the grill. These look gorgeous. You can see all the nice little charred marks on the steak. And again, we par-cooked the sweet potatoes. And the chicken kebabs probably need another like 2 or 3 minutes. So the chicken and plum kebabs have cooked about 15 minutes total, so they're ready to come off the grill now too. And you want to make sure these are cooked completely through. And one way you can test these without a meat thermometer is by cutting into the center of one of the chicken pieces and just making sure there's no pink inside. Now that the kebabs are done, we're going to let them rest for about 5 minutes so that the juices redistribute themselves and makes everything nice and juicy. And there you go, grilled kebabs. Great for a backyard barbecue.